This is possible because of Harvey. He is a wonderful human being, a good friend, and just a powerhouse.
Actors are very, and actresses more than guys, and I know it happens with guys too, but with, they're particularly vulnerable because they need an agent, and the agents are creeps too. I mean, it's rampant in the industry. There's not one actress who doesn't have a story.
Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdsson of World Alternative Media, and of course we are joined here in beautiful British Columbia by the one and only Dan Dix of Press for Truth, and we have been following an incredibly grim story emulating out of these accusations against Harvey Weinstein, a Hollywood producer known for such movies as Pulp Fiction, Good Will Hunting, Shakespeare in Love, and the list goes on. There are so many movies that this man is behind, and he's become incredibly powerful, especially among politicians in Washington. And it goes to show something that we in independent media have been talking about for a long time, Dan, which is this sexual misconduct in Hollywood, pedophilia, rape, and the list goes on and on and on. We can go right back to Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express and his island, and it just gets creepier as you dig deeper into it. And I would say one bright side of this story is that it's exposing a lot of this, because it's seeming that a lot of this is starting to really come out and hit the mainstream. We've seen people like Elijah Wood in the past come out against the pedophilia in Hollywood, which he says that he had avoided, but he saw a lot of people that he worked with affected by this. And Harvey Weinstein had allegations made against him from people like Ashley Judd, who usually I wouldn't trust as far as I could throw her, but it's her among many other people. And if some action can be taken out of this, it's a good thing. So Dan, can you go into what we've seen coming out of the story, some of the people that have been coming out against Harvey Weinstein, and how this is kind of unwrapping in the media?
Sure. Well, since the fall of Harvey Weinstein, I'm sure we can call it now, in the wake of this, more and more people have been coming out and being vocal, and I think they're encouraging one another to continue to come out and speak out. We have people now like Gwyneth Paltrow, who says that when she was as young as 22 years old, this film producer brought her up into his hotel room and tried to, sexually harass her. People like Angelina Jolie are now vocally speaking out that they had a similar experience with this guy. And even, we got guys like Rob Schneider has recently come out, not necessarily speaking about Weinstein, but others within the industry. Even guys like Terry Crews. I mean, this guy just recently came out on Twitter saying he was sexually assaulted by a high-level Hollywood executive insider. So it's disgusting to find out these horrendous things that are going on at these Hollywood insider parties, but it's really good to know that some of these people are having the courage right now to come out and speak out again about what's happening right now that it's been exposed what's going on with Weinstein.
Yeah, and you wouldn't expect tough people like Terry Crews to come out against this, and he's a big guy. You don't expect it to happen to him, but it's happening to a lot of people in Hollywood, and I think it also goes to show what we've seen in the 1980s with the child actors Corey Haim and obviously Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman has come out against it, only to be told to basically shush up about it. He's had a lot of drug problems, a lot of substance abuse problems have come out of this story over the years, and this is a story that goes far back to the 1910s in Hollywood, at the very beginning of this Hollywood order that we started seeing unravel in California. There have been countless stories, and then you move all the way over to a place like Britain with the BBC, and you have people like Jimmy Savile in the industry who was exposed after he was already dead, unfortunately, as this horrible monster who went after countless, over 200, some have alleged, little girls and women. And we see it also in the music industry. So we see people like Pete Townsend get caught for, having child pornography. We see people like Bill Cosby. The list goes on. There's countless people in the music industry who've been caught. Nelly, R. Kelly. I mean, it's unbelievable how many people. There's only so many A-list celebrities in the world, and the number of A-list celebrities that have been caught up in these scandals is alarming, to say the least, because it says a lot about the level of this kind of stuff happening in Hollywood, the music industry. And then we pull away from, a lot of the satanic occult stuff that's going on in Hollywood and the music industry, Led Zeppelin, Ozzy Osbourne, and then you go into this other realm, which goes to show how how the establishment has a grip on this. You go into Dennis Hastert, the Speaker of the House, who was caught going after kids in the 1970s, 80s. You have Bill Clinton, who, by the way, his wife has been known, Hillary Clinton has been known to basically try and hush rape, people who have alleged rape against Bill Clinton.
I always learn amazing things from you.
And we now know that Harvey Weinstein gave a lot of money to her and to Obama. And this kind of branches together this whole story, because we see it happening even with Jared Fogle, the Sham Wow guy. I mean, advertising. It kind of bridges all establishment divides. And Dan, what do you think this says about this industry, where you see these people, vocally praising Satan? I mean, it gets to that point where you see this occult stuff going on, and this disregard for children and the use of them as some kind of like sexual toy.
Well, we are seeing that this clearly spans multiple industries, and as you said, we have it in the insider elite of Hollywood, but we also have it on the insider elite of Washington, D.C., and the bridge that you mentioned there with Weinstein and people like Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton is a perfect example to show that similar things going on in the Hollywood elite are going on in the Washington elite. Through my research over the years into these occult practices, because that's what it is when you get down to it. A lot of it for these musicians is more of like a lustful desire that they're fulfilling, whereas in the Washington elite, it's more about this occultic nature of getting the purest of the pure when it comes to satanic sacrifice is a child, a pre-puberty child is the sacrifice of choice for these people. So I think we are seeing it span various industries, but its use and purposefulness and intentions are maybe different in compared to Hollywood with Washington, but it's all dark and evil and bad.
It's disgusting, and it just, again, I mean, from politics to advertising, from the music industry to Hollywood, it's all over the place. And it goes to show that, I mean, for so many years, people in independent media have come out against this kind of stuff and been called crazy. And I don't know, I don't blame a lot of people for kind of looking at that and going, whoa, that's a little far out there. But that's how crazy this industry is that we look at Hollywood and Washington, and these people get away with everything. Everything's covered up. It's people who want jobs. It's people who want some opportunities, and they just look the other way. None of these guys name names. They say this is happening. Even Corey Feldman not naming names, but explaining that it's happening. And you see a lot of people come out and support them, and when these things initially come out, they try to cover it up and say none of this happened. And it just goes to show how many cover-ups there are, and there's probably a lot to be said as well about the amount of people who probably have blackmail against them. They use this kind of stuff to say, look, if you come out about it, we're going to release this tape and we're going to destroy your career and we're going to blacklist you. But again, have we seen Obama denounce what Harvey Weinstein has done? Have we seen Hillary Clinton denounce it? No, because it only suits what benefits them. If they want to come out against someone, it better be someone that they are opposing vocally and have some benefit that they can actually gain out of this whole scenario. So closing this off, it's a terrible, dark story. We will continue to report into it. But Dan, I mean, what's next from here? Like, how do we really get this to people's ears and eyes? We see it kind of popping up in the mainstream media to some extent, but it's still something that's so taboo to talk about with things like Podesta, and you even talk about that in a video, and your video will likely just get taken down. So I mean, where do you go from here? How do we get it to this next level?
We have to be comfortable talking about this as the fact that it's a real issue. These are these are children. This is the future, and here in Canada, it is moving in a very bad direction to the opposite of where it should be going. To the extent where they're pushing for things like pedophilia and even bestiality to become legally, allowed to take place here in Canada.
Like Salon Magazine pushing it as a lifestyle choice, like it's the same thing as being gay or whatever. It's a lifestyle choice, but it's not a disease. It's not a mental illness. It's not, just being an evil person and taking advantage of the most vulnerable people in society.
So we have to do away with the normalization of these sexual practices and pedophilia. Mm-hmm. We're seeing it all the time in the LGBTQ community at these pride parades. We're seeing like a salon, Vanity Fair. They're doing these magazine covers of men walking around nude with children, posing it as art. I mean, you have organizations like NAMBLA, the North American Man-Boy Love Association, that's literally trying to claim that, hey, we're not doing anything bad. We're just people who love little boys. I mean, they're literally trying to normalize this, and we have to have the courage to speak out and say, no, this is sick, this is twisted, this is evil. And unless we, continue to expose what's happening and encourage others, especially Hollywood insiders, politicians, anyone who is of influence to speak out about this, unless we don't, it's just going to continue to happen.
Absolutely, and they try to deep six you if you talk about it. We've seen that on YouTube, Google, the ADL coming in, flagging all videos as hate speech. People talked about, something like Pizzagate, which is something that a lot of us had to kind of touch on because there were some serious stories coming out that were, they were crazy to say the least, and people talk about it and their videos get taken down, their whole channels get taken down, and obviously there's an attempted muzzle on people who are trying to talk or speak out against this disgusting practice. I can't think of anything worse. I mean, the only thing that's really worse than murder and the rape of adults is the rape of innocent, vulnerable children. I don't know how anyone could stand back and defend such a practice, and this says a lot about the people in Hollywood, Washington, in the elite structure that we are fighting on a daily basis, from everything from politics to finance to culture to how they are psychologically trying to manipulate the minds of the populace and push us into this disgusting, degenerate society that is beyond human rights. It's into infringing on the liberties of small children and destroying their lives and pushing them into a life of drugs and crime. I mean, it's just as far gone as you can imagine, and I really hope that people share this video. Make sure to check out Press for Truth and share his videos on this subject and others as well. We are getting attacked on a daily basis on YouTube, demonetized, and it's hurting us, and we need independent media talking about this, because I have to say, if it weren't for independent media speaking about this for decades, really, it probably wouldn't have even reached the mainstream media at this point, and this global establishment would be much bigger than it is today, and it's already pretty big. So we hope that you support independent media. Check out Dan at Press for Truth. I'm sure most of you already have, but if you haven't, check it out. Incredible videos, and we have to call out these snakes and shoo them out of the den if we ever want to actually get to that next level where we have freedom, where we have an ability to speak freely to each other without being deep-sixed by some global establishment. So thanks, Dan, for going into this with us, and until next time, this is Josh Searton and Dan Dix signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change. Now to sound like an auctioneer. Thanks for watching, everyone. Check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized and censored by YouTube as they bring in the Anti-Defamation League to flag all of our content as hate speech. Also check our Bitcoin address in the description in the comments, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And don't forget to check me out at Josh Searton at Steemit.com. That's Steemit.com, the future of social media, where you get paid via cryptocurrency, Steem that is, by the upvote and demand of your post. It's bound to take out the dinosaur social media, so I hope to see you there. But until next time, check out this word from our sponsor.
Are you looking to exchange a large amount of US dollars? Don't overpay with the bank on currency exchange. Think outside the bank. Banks charge unnecessary fees of up to 3%. Truth be told, currency exchange with the bank will cost you hundreds to thousands of dollars. Start saving now. Step 1. Register online. Visit our website and click Get Started. Step 2. Book a transaction. Phone us for a quote and to complete the transaction. We'll need to know which currencies you are converting and how much. Step 3. Transfer of funds. Once you confirm the transaction, we initiate an electronic funds transfer from the account that you choose. Your purchased funds are then transferred back to you in the account that you choose within 1 business day. It's that easy. Start saving hundreds of dollars on currency exchange with CBCE. Sign up online or give us a call today.
Wow.